Hello, I'm Beverly, and this is To Inspire Someone. It's Testimony 8, and the title is Hollywood. First, I'd like to tell you before I start in telling you about my testimony um, that sometimes I will not say the person's name uh, or, you know, explicit details about people just to protect, you know, their innocence or whatever. Um, I'm not going to ever say anything to be harmful, not intentionally. But when I say, when I like doing this testimony video, um, these are celebrities in Hollywood. So it was 1987. As a matter of fact, it was October of 1987. And my company sent me on a trip to California. We went to for a business meeting, a business conference, and a lot of my um, the ladies that were in a lot of people went from different companies. At the time, I worked for a law firm, and my company paid for me to go, and we had classes for we were there like 5 days, and we had classes for 3 of the days, and the other 2 days we had, I can't remember whether they alternated them, but on the days that we had where we didn't have a class, the ladies that, some of the ladies, I say about 3 of the ladies that went with me to the conference, we all pitched in and we rented a car, and we decided we're going to go all over California, wherever we could go, because I personally had not been to California before. I didn't know whether any of the other ladies had or not, but it was a lot of people at that conference, and it was very, very interesting. We learned a lot and everything, but when it was our time to be off, we were ready to just find out about California. So we rented a car, and they designated me as the driver. And I said, I don't mind. I didn't mind driving. And they kind of were smirking a little bit when they said it. And I didn't find out until after we had already went on our little tours of everywhere in California that we could drive. But I'll tell you about that later after I get through telling the testimony. But anyway, on the board here, I'll show you exactly some of the stuff that we did. But we went a lot of places. So anyway, one of the places that I want to share with you all is Hollywood. We went to Hollywood, and they gave us passes to go into the studio where 2 or 3 people were getting ready for TV shows. And they said that we could sit in the audience. And that was exciting to me. I said, what? On a TV show? So we went, the first place that we visit in the studio was, this picture right here is a lady named Joyce Gilson. And that's me with her. And the second picture right here this was in the same studio, was Joyce Gilson and Betty White right there. And then the third picture down here at the bottom, you can't see too well, but I'll explain to you when I get to it about they asked for a volunteer. They actually volunteered me for Up Against the Wall. That's what this is called. And I'll explain to you what they did in that picture when I get to that one. But I'm going to start out with the first one with Joyce Gilson got her arm around my shoulder. And how that happened was she was in charge of this TV show that they were about to air. And like I said, we were allowed to sit in the audience, and it was a lot of people, happy people like me, but nobody happy as me because I was laughing real loud and just ecstatically happy. And so, and I wasn't ashamed of it because I had never been to California and I was real excited about it. But anyway, we sat down in they had kind of like bleachers, but it was real comfortable seating. And we sat, all of the ladies that came with me, which was four of us all together. We sat down and it was like they had a lot of people in the studio. So we they started to doing some of the taping, uh, but then they stopped because Miss Gilson came in and she's the one that is in charge. I don't know in what capacity, but she was in charge of the show. And it seemed like a type of game show or something, because on here it's showing a board that they had like did a rough draft of. Anyway, she went in the back to the I guess the dressing rooms or whatever they do, and all of us were out there just anticipating what was about to happen for this TV show to be aired. And so I'm sitting up here and I'm just so happy I don't know what to do. And so people started joking and saying all kind of stuff, and I was laughing just from the bottom of my soul. I was just laughing and happy. You could just tell I was extremely happy. So one of the gentlemen came out from the back where Miss Gilson was, and he said, Miss Gilson would like to know who that was laughing real loud. And I said, oh my God, I did something wrong. I shouldn't have been so happy laughing out loud. And so the lady said, oh, you in trouble now. See, they're going to put us out of here. We haven't even seen the show that they're going to air. And I said, I hope not. Because I said, I was really looking forward to it. So anyway, he looked real serious. And I said, oh, I didn't mean to get everybody in trouble. I said, I'm sorry I laughed so loud. And so he went back there and he came back. He said, who was it that laughed out loud a few minutes ago? And I raised my hand. I said, I believe it was probably me. And he said, Miss Gilson would like to see you. I said, oh my God, she's going to put me out of here. And so he walked me back to where she was, and then she walked forward with me. And she said, were you the one that was laughing so, like from the bottom of their stomach just a few minutes ago? And I said, yes, I'm sorry if I disturbed somebody. She said, no, that's not why I called you. She said, I love that laugh. She said, you made me so happy. Because you were just laughing so hard like you did the happiest person in the world. And I said, really? She said, yes. And she said, I just wanted you to know that. And I said, well, thank you. She said, here, give me a hug. She gave me a hug, and I almost fainted. And I said, you really want to hug me? She said, yes, I do. And then after we got through, she told the cameraman, one of the cameramen, she said, get a shot of this. And she came over and pulled me close to her and wrapped her arm around my shoulder. And she said, come on, we're going to take a picture together so you have proof that you've been here on this set. And I said, really? I said, thank you. And she pulled me over there close to her, and we both smiled real big and took the picture. And I was just so happy I didn't know what to do. So she was standing in a position where all the women that were with me could see. They were waiting for her to like throw me out of there or something. Anyway, they kept waiting and looking at her smiling. She was happy, like I was. And then when they heard her say, take a picture with me, and And then they saw her, well, she embraced me first, and then she, took the picture with me. And I said, I don't believe this. And so, anyway, everybody else said, what? The loudest person in the room laughing all loud. And she gets called and get a picture with George Johnson. And so I said, this is unbelievable. Anyway, uh, she took the picture. She had the picture taken, and she chatted for a while. She said, it's not every day that we hear that kind of uh, laughter. And she said, it's important that you laugh. And she said, I can tell you just enjoying yourself. And I said, yes. But anyway, she said, thank you. And I said, you don't have to thank me. I'm happy like that most of the time. And she started laughing. But anyway, when she went back, uh, the second picture right here is showing Betty White was with her up there. She had her little dog in one picture, a cute little, looked like a little Yorkshire, and she gave someone her little pet, and then they began to do whatever they were doing, preparing to try to start getting the show set up. And Miss White came over and she spoke to me and smiled and everything. And then the last thing that happened was they asked me would I volunteer for a little, I don't know what they call it, but anyway, the name of it was Up Against the Wall. And so they said, first they said, can we have a volunteer? Nobody would volunteer because everybody's scared by then. They didn't know what would happen. So I said, what do you have to do? She said, we'll show you. And so I said, okay, I volunteer. And so I did. And it was like, the name of it was Up Against the Wall. They had me sitting, where is it at? The lady is standing here. They actually had the chair and the table and the rug looked like I was up against the wall sitting down at the table. But it was the way it was special effects. And what they did was had me get on a chair on my back. And the chair back was down, and my knees were up, like the seat was up this way, and it actually looked like I was sitting at a table that was on the wall. And I thought it was kind of funny, but I laughed and I enjoyed myself so much. And when we got through with that, we left, and boy, they talked about that. Then they had me all over California after we left. They didn't keep us during the whole taping of the show. They just allowed us to sit in while they were getting set up and all of that. So they answered a few questions before we left as well for some of the people that were interested in, what took place during a taping of a show. So anyway, we left out. We went to Chinatown. We went to the Star, wherever it is where the stars have a star, the Walk of Fame or whatever it is. We went there. We went to Beverly Hills and actually went in the neighborhood. We sit down on the curb with some of the people that worked in the great big mansions. They were having their lunch, and they had a beautiful lunch truck out there for all the workers. And we sat down with them on the curb and had a sandwich with them, and they just enjoyed us so much. Then we went to Rodeo Drive in Beverly Hills, and I had a picture but I couldn't get all the pictures on this board. But we went into this little shop where they serve you champagne while you're shopping, and I wasn't used to that. I was all dressed up and everything, but I wasn't used to, well, first of all, I didn't drink champagne, but the women that were with me that did, and they enjoyed themselves, and had like a bar type, real fancy bar set up for them to sit down and had a champagne, and then they could go shopping in their store. Well, I didn't drink the champagne, but I still sat there and enjoyed the time in the store. It was a beautiful store. Uh, but anyway, we left there and we went to the taping, a set about Jaws, and they took us through and let us see how Jaws was taped. And it was just so interesting. There was a lot of different things that we did before we left there. We went to the beach. We went and sat down at an ice cream parlor and had banana splits. But anyway, we just enjoyed ourselves on our day off. And when we got to the ice cream parlor, they told me they had something to tell me. And they said, "You've been doing a wonderful job driving." I said, "Thank you." Anyway, they said, "So apparently you didn't hear about the, well, they waited till we got back to the garage, well, the hotel that we were staying in." And he told me when we pulled in, they said, "Apparently you didn't know about the freeway sniper or something like that." And I said, "No." And they said, "Good." And they bust out laughing, and I said, "I don't see anything funny." So I said, "Why didn't y'all tell me that? You could have put us all in danger." And they said, "We were looking out for you." And I said, "Oh my goodness, I'll never do that again." But anyway, we had a good time there. And I believe that the point of this testimony is, during the time that I went to that conference, we went a couple of other places too, but the time that I went there, I was kind of down in the dumps, and I always try to see Christ Jesus in everything I do. But anyway, that I know God sent that lady, Joyce Gilson, to acknowledge my laughter and my joy. And that's something that really, it made my whole trip worthwhile. I mean, I had such a good time, and everybody, they come talking about, "Beverly is a celebrity." I said, "No." No, I just, just was in the right place at the right time. But I'm saying this to somebody, whoever's listening to this testimony video, that sometimes you don't know how God will send somebody to, to lift up your spirits or try to cheer you up or offer hope or, just make you see things differently in life. But I always look for things to happen. I expect. I kind of like live in the realm of expectancy. I look for the promises of God to be fulfilled in my life. And the reason why I get so excited about the things that, were happening, the good things that are happening, because I've had a lot of struggles and disappointments and everything during my life. But the thing is, if you can get to that point where you appreciate those things, because you know that God says in Romans 8:28 says, "And we know that all things work together for good to them that love the Lord and that are called according to his purpose." I know that I love the Lord, and I know that I'm called and chosen. But what like life itself unfolds as we go on this journey, and we go from one experience to the other, and how we continue going or proceed or get elevated by Christ is how you handle whatever situation you're given. It's not always going to be easy. It's not always going to be enjoyable. But when the opportunity arises, take it, to smile, to laugh, because life is very precious. And God loves us all unconditionally, and we are here on purpose. So look for the purpose. Look for that purpose in everything that happens to you from the moment you set your foot on the floor in the morning. And always take time to be thankful to God. I thank God because I've had so many experiences, and I believe that absolutely there's no coincidence in Christ Jesus. I believe that if you are a believer, you are a child of God, that the things that happen to you, even the things that you perceive as bad. I don't know if y'all listened to that little short video that I spoke about um, the things that are seemingly insignificant. Those are the things that we need to be thankful for those things because God promised to never leave us nor forsake us, and He is faithful. He is faithful. And if you start expecting great things to happen, your faith increases because you're saying to God, I believe you. I believe that things are going to get better for me. I don't care if it was an incident that happened in your life that was really bad. But the bottom line is, God doesn't change. We do. And, life is what you make it. I really believe that. I believe what you put into life and how you experience your life. And if you can find a glimmer of hope and joy and be aware of how God is sending it, because He's not like man. He is God. And He sends us blessings and miracles and healings and deliverance. He sends us people to share time in our lives. Don't take that for granted either, because we all are here for a given time, and enjoy the ones that God has predestined. Yeah, that's what He did. He predestined every one of us to have certain people show up on your path of life, and don't take that for granted. I don't care if it's even somebody that rub you the wrong way. He allowed it, so that means there's some type of purpose in it. Like you may have to show them how Christ is in everything, how to have joy, how to uh, learn how to see the good even in a bad situation, and mainly to be grateful, thankful for everything that God has blessed you with, not to complain. So I've enjoyed um, sharing this video with you today, and I would appreciate it if you give me some feedback. I love comments. I appreciate your comments. I'd like you to check the like, uh, share it, and make a comment. And if you get a chance to, uh, yeah, share it. Let somebody else know, and give me mainly the feedback. That's really important, uh, because I need to know whether this. See, God had me share my testimonies, and some of them I told you that I won't necessarily like doing, but I don't care about what I think, because if God has appointed me to do this, I'm honored to do so. But anyway, I look forward to you all sharing and commenting and liking, and look forward to you on Monday. This is Friday, the 18th of October, 2024. But on Monday, I believe, the 21st of October, will be a real well, not exciting to me, but it is exciting because it's going to be something that I had struggled with. But that video is going to be powerful because I'm going to tell you the testimony about how God delivered. I had planned to have the person speak, but they asked me to tell the story because I know the story very well. I know the testimony, and I don't mind sharing it. So make sure you come back and tell somebody else to listen on Monday. I'm gonna try to get this video out a little early than I did this time. But if not, whenever on Monday that I can get it. I'm gonna try to get up early. I'm keep on until I get it right, get it to where it's supposed to be. I'm very mindful of what I have promised, and I will make it happen eventually. So thank you for joining me, and the next video is going to be a powerful testimony. Okay, it's not going to be my testimony, but I've been given permission to share it, and somebody out there is going to need to hear it. And I don't know who it is, but I appreciate it if you let me know how you feel about it after I give it. Just like this one and all the 7 before this one. Okay? Have a good one, and I look forward to seeing you again. Bye-bye.